every week with the Hot News Talk Radio 1, 2, 3 NASCAR contest. Hot News Talk 1240. All you have to do is guess who's going to be first, second, and third place in the upcoming NASCAR Sprint Cup race. If you guess it, you'll hear your name live Monday morning at 11:30. Then call AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio to win. Enter your guess right now at Rick Davis Golden Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. Diesel off-road technology, Sonny Daisy. For your four-wheel drive and truck needs, stuff and upholstery with premium rubber foam. Amigos Mexican Restaurant next to Staples and Hickson. Drink specials during the race. Cell Surgeon, the Broken Screen Doc. And Shooter Supply, 4824 Hickson Pike and Hickson. Hot News Talk 1240. Enter your guesses now and then listen to the race live to win $124 in cash and $124 in food from Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station. Hot News Talk 1240. I love NASCAR.
Hello and welcome to the Art Beat of Chattanooga, where Art lives. Really happy you're joining us today on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240, here in Hickson, Tennessee. We're going to talk with Steve, a UTC student today, and I'll let him introduce himself in a minute. Just want to thank you for joining us. We're going to be feeding live on Facebook, and you can also see us on YouTube. So we're just going to kind of talk about what's happening in the college community, art, journalism, and there's some interesting projects going on and things like that. So as the show goes on, if you want to call in and ask a question or say anything, you can call 423-800-8949, 423-800-8949. We'd love to speak with you. So, Steve, can you introduce yourself and, tell us just a little bit about you?
My name is Steven. I go to UTC. I'm a communications major, and it's my last semester, God willing.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you're probably making good grades and everything.
Close to a 3.0.
That's good. That's good. So how do you like it? Is it you're liking this career choice you're making?
Yes and no. I probably should have maybe gone into a little bit different field, but I got a handle on things now, communication-wise. I feel like I'm a little bit better of a writer, so I'm kind of stoked about that.
Yeah, it takes time to build your skill into, the learning curve of life. So that's exciting. So basically, are you willing to talk about your project and why we're here, how we ended up here on this show today?
Well, was hoping to get an interview with you and about why, why'd you start your own show?
All right, well, that's an interesting question because there was a local natural grocery store that was here in Hickson, and they were approached about doing a show by this radio station that suggested I be the host of a show where we utilize that conglomeration of local artisans and business people who were creating their own products, be it salsa or candles or art, and that didn't happen. But my mind kind of went, well, that sounds kind of fun. I maybe would like that. And just the Art Beat of Chattanooga just kind of came through conversation with friends and the idea, and now my love of Chattanooga, my love of art, and wanting to promote to the community to fight for art programs for your kids, to fight for the right for them to utilize that part of their mind and brain because it is integral part of life. It's necessary. So,
well, this being a conservative radio station, there's a little bit of a novelty to it. I don't know if you'd say, consider yourself as a conservative, but this is a conservative radio station, and it's really different that, the station branches out, and I guess elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, it's been an interesting time. Actually, Sab, one of the owners, and I met over a common disease that our children share, and we came to know each other through that. And, so there's a friendship there. And then the blending of me, am I conservative? No, definitely not. Do I support local industry, local business people, and trying to give a lot of love to everyone in life? Yes. So that's what makes us compatible. In the beginning, there was a lot of jokes about all artists. The view was all artists are hippies or kind of, not real hardworking or whatever. I mean, I work a full-time job, and
most artists have to have two different jobs. It's really interesting that you can work the two. I've got a lot of respect for people that have more than one job. At the same time, it's the fact that the different, I guess, things that conservatism stands for, like, the Constitution, rights, and the different freedoms, and people can express that through art. I think that's they kind of mingle a little bit as well.
Definitely. Historically, art connects to every society. It reflects love, war, pain, hunger, death. Art is a communication from one heart to another about a part of life, and it creates avenues of thought and creativity in your mind that connect to all parts of life. Even computer programming and websites, it all starts with that artist's mind. So to withdraw that from our children and make that not important in our schools, it literally, in my opinion, interrupts their development process and changes the direction that they may go, because they don't have some skills they're going to need.
Do you have a goal?
A goal.
Where do you want to see yourself in 5 years when you grow up?
Whoa, yeah, I might eventually grow up. Well, in 5 years, certainly as an artist, I would like to be showing regularly throughout Chattanooga and beyond. I have had some shows and been in some shows. Life has thrown a lot of curveballs at me for quite a long time, and I kind of haven't entered anything lately, but I do have a complete series ready that relates to breast cancer and the desire to have a foundation that I can help these women through these therapeutic paintings that are very special. And I'm working towards that as time allows. That's my big thing. In 5 years, I'd like that corporation, that it's a nonprofit organization that I wish to have, and that I wish to be up and running very thoroughly in 5 years. And
have you talked out or reached out to anybody? Like, you've got Lizzie on here from the Heartbeat. Like, they kind of go hand in hand with certain things like that. Have you branched out and actually tried to get some support?
At this point, I've begun talking to a few late people, and I tried to go to a breast cancer group, but you have to be a survivor, and I'm not. I just, for some reason, have this dream and this vision for these paintings, and I know they're going to be healing for people. And I've spoken to a couple other people about it. So as soon as I stop opening new stores every year and like being slammed with a lot of work all at once, I'm going to pursue that more. And I hope through the radio show someone may hear this and it strikes a chord in your heart, and you might know of avenues to proceed. Honestly, I'm the idea person and the artist, but it's going to take, a village, so to speak.
Well, as a journalist, have you not tried to present your case and say, hey, I might be able to cover your program? That's something you probably... That's one way to get your foot in the door, at least. Don't be coming in there as an audience. Definitely try to cover it.
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. The real goal, you said 5 years. Well, I'd really like to be doing that. And I'd like to know that it's impacting women. And also within that same dream is helping people, not exclusively women, but who've suffered through some things in life and maybe just need a connection. So kind of a healing center almost too.
Like it.
So, and there'd be therapeutic art and different things like that available. So that's all in my head. So anyone who wants to jump in and help, let me know. We'll have a talk. So journalism, I did not take journalism. I aced all my English classes in college, and I write very succinct, concise, emotional dump poetry. I have a lot of it. I've written it and stuck it in files for years, but I've started to rediscover it since I illustrated the book for Fred Ballou, his book of poems. And, I've gotten positive response on my poems. So as a journalist, what is your driving force? You said, well, you could have gone in a different field, but now you're kind of, I am a journalist. And
well, I think of myself as a nerd, kind of, except I'm not that intelligent. So I guess I'm going to classify myself as a geek. And, kind of wanted to go in there as more of a production part, but now that I've gone into it, it is journalism. I'm a god-awful writer, and I don't want to starve one day, so I need to have a different big boy job. Not saying that there's anything wrong, it's just that it's a very tough competitive market, and
you need a Spider-Man suit, because then you show up as a journalist. Isn't it Superman, Spider-Man? I think, weren't they both writers? Yeah. Journalists? Yeah.
And well, my main focus is when I first started, I kind of wanted to be in media production. So like I could have maybe gone into graphic design and things like that. But now that I'm so close to being done with school, no. And I definitely found some people along the way that have given me some pretty decent advice. And school is it's school. It's not. It's life doesn't end after high school. There is either the real world or in college, which I feel like is an expensive daycare as well as high school. But that's my own opinion.
Yeah, well, it's the branching ground. I loved college. I had so much fun. I was a little older when I went to college. Actually, I had a 3-year-old child. So, but art shows, I won awards for paintings. I was working at the art office and in the art department in the school, and it was just really a highlight time, and painting with all the professors and the assignments. And it's a lot of, pressure. But at the same time, it was, an amazing time in my life. And it was downtown Grand Rapids, so it's kind of cool and pretty down there, too, on the river. So, I hope you've had that experience, too, that colleges, I sense that excitement in you. I'm a journalist, and I'm going to need a big boy job. To me, that says, I actually am falling in love with this. And,
I like that it's open doors, and that I've got to, I met Sab. I met Sab at at my job. I worked at Walmart, and then I had an internship with him at Chat State, and then I moved to UTC after I got my transfer degree, and I asked for his help again, and I did another mini internship with him. And once again, I reached out for this project to get a hold of him to be a PR voice, I guess.
That's fantastic because, PR voices are what helps businesses grow. And, I'm the host of Art Beat of Chattanooga, and you asked why I started the show. What draws you to choose the Art Beat of Chattanooga to focus on for your project?
Well, there's novelty to it. Like I said, that it's conservative radio, and I would like to know more about the commingling of the two. It's a very interesting topic, both of them. I like art, and I'll go ahead and tell everybody I feel like I'm a conservative in some ways, which that's a kind of a taboo in some different places. But I think the two can get along. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah. So do you like the show?
Your show, personally? I've only listened to it a whole, I guess 4 or 5 different times, but because of my project, I've watched more videos, and I do.
Yeah, it varies around a bit. And, these gentlemen here, I wasn't in broadcasting. They kind of ended up here. So it's a learning curve again. But, it's really fun. And the neat thing is, Steve, I get to talk to people like you. And then I'm super interested in speaking with other people from UTC about their experiences.
Well, like you talked about different indie bands and things like that around Chattanooga. And I feel like that's a really cool thing that you're reaching out and asking them to come up here. What's the last? Planet?
Planet, yeah.
That was really interesting. I know we talked about my homie Nick Let's Go. You should definitely give him a shout. I hope that kid goes very big, and he's gotten a lot bigger in recent years. But just the fact that our small town, I like to think that a small town has so much more growth, and in more than one way, at least. Like I said, I'm conservative, and I think that there's a lot of room.
Yeah, I see that in Chattanooga. And before the show, we were talking with Steve, and I particularly enjoy your generation in Chattanooga and their dedication and their intelligence and commitment to, becoming really productive, creative, full people for the future of Chattanooga. And a lot of them want to stay here. They see the value. They've gone away and come back, but they realize the value of this really beautiful city. And you don't always get a city full of nice people like this. I mean, we have our crime and all of this type of thing, but on a daily basis, if you go downtown and you take a walk across the bridge or North or South Shore, you're going to get a lot of smiles. You're going to hear some music. You're going to see some musicians. You're going to see some chalk art, shops full of art. and smiling people, who will interact with you and be pleasant. I literally sat down to have lunch and a beer with a couple that I met at the Hunter Museum, just walking around, and we ended up, sitting down together, and they bought a piece from me.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's like, that was a good day.
Good day.
Little sketch of Aretha Frankenstein's done plein air out there, and they just love that piece, So that was, Chattanooga's that way. The possibilities are endless.
I agree.
Yeah. So
I call it God's country. It's so beautiful.
Oh, it is. So when you're with your writing, what do you like to focus on? What's your interest in journalism?
That's a question I'm not too sure of myself, to be honest.
Okay. Still looking for a direction where your writing really fits for you as far as what to report on?
Well, I've already kind of got my idea on this particular article, but and I've already just kind of said that where conservative meets like art, and because a lot of people think of art not necessarily being like you said, hippie, maybe more liberal sense, but it's everyone. There is a lot to it. You can't just look outside and say, you could look at the fact of like Jesus, and he's an artist.
The master artist is the creator.
If you look outside and try to enjoy nature and really try and look at it, it almost brings you to tears when you think of how, man, I couldn't create anything that beautiful. If you just look out at the flowers, the trees, the clouds, I mean, it's just so gorgeous. And I mean, there's the faith aspect to it. Inspiration, man, is given free will. And it's really interesting.
Yeah, I see the world in art too, and then every time I look, I often see a stroke or a type of paint that I may use, but that I'd like to do to duplicate some of the beauty you see out there. But I'm a much more I've relaxed a lot in my art, and I kind of paint more emotion and color, and there's representational things in my pieces, but I don't do photographic type representational things so anymore. But I know what you're saying, and faith is part of life. It's part of art. It's a big part of my art. And I'm not the normal conservative that some of these gentlemen are. I actually don't practice the same religion as they do as a whole in the same name they do. But I was saved and all that. You can't go backwards and not be. I had a lifetime where I got to know a lot of all that Bible and all that stuff. But the big thing is that I have the joy and the faith in knowing that, this world is created and we are loved and we are to love. And you can show that through your art, your journalism. You're telling me you don't know what
your kindness. Everybody out there, the act of kindness. If you can just give it to one person today, you've done somebody a solid.
It's so easy as instead of getting mad and racing in front of that person and waving your fist at them or worse, you just wave back, smile at them and nod and give them a wave. You could change their whole day. Yeah. So the art form of being nice. Let's try that one. That's important right there. But I'm saying, Steve, as we're talking here and you're a college student, you don't know your full direction yet, get on it. What's wrong with you? You're almost done with school. Kidding. Okay.
So, I worked at the Walmart in Saudi, and we had I was planning on being an assistant manager there. Well, I had already been given the job pretty much, but the store manager passed away recently, and it's been a fairly hard time.
Wow, I'm sorry. That's sad.
So that's where my mind's still going, because as much as I'd like to grow up and I could easily say get a logistics job because I can play around with the computer, I can play around with numbers, and I like people. But I've learned a lot through customer service and just talking to people that are angry. Lots of angry people, but giving them a little bit of what they want to hear, and about 9 times out of 10, letting them leave with a smile, whether or not they actually got what they wanted in the beginning.
Right, exactly.
So that's kind of what I'd like to do. And even if I do...
Come on over to our Earth Fair and apply.
Well, I've also been there for 5 years, so I've been kind of invested. And I never had pride for Walmart until I had this manager, Brittany. And you can't make somebody feel something for a company. You can tell them all day that, you're not supposed to badmouth your company. That's obviously, common sense. But to make you feel pride for a Walmart, which is a retail store, it's pretty impressive. And it takes a couple of good leaders, not a boss, to kind of show you what's up.
Yeah, and it's all the RB to Chattanooga. You may have more questions, and if you want, we can delve deeper in the next segment. It's all about art is all about communicating your feelings to other people, and hopefully making them feel better. But sometimes looking at a dark piece of art or reading a dark piece of writing, relating to that can actually make you feel better. Knowing that you're not alone, knowing that someone else is expressing this. And that's why, to me, writing is also a form of art. I write. I'm a poet. I definitely know that it's a creative thing that just happens for me. And
that's how I deal with emotion sometimes, too.
Yeah, that's my art. Do you need a therapist? Well, this painting is that. This painting is that.
Well, art for me, my buddy makes fun of me because my drawings are, we call them the Charlie's Dream Book, which is Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference. Just look like a bunch of scribbles, but I had them posted up on my wall forever. And my poetry to me seems like third grade stuff, but it's still a way to get some emotion out of your heart. Like with all of the political stuff going on after July 16th happened and radical Islam. That's a word that we don't like to say, but there's ways to work that out if you write about it.
We'll be probably talking about this in the next segment. We're going to take a little bit of a break. The Art Beat of Chattanooga, Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. We'll be back in a few minutes, so see you then. Yeah. So what's the one thing? Oh, yeah.
Don't punish your gun by leaving it in a corner. Shoot it, sell it, or just toss it. Okay. Don't toss it. Make money with it. Shooter Supply at Indoor Range, the hottest gun shop in town. Find buyers for your extra firearms. Put cash in your pocket today. Our ARs clutter in your closet. Ruger's rusting in your rec room. Shooter Supply at Indoor Range in Hickson will take your firearm and put it on consignment. To you, that means no money out of your pocket with a small fee when the gun sells. Larry at Shooters has got an online store. He's licensed to ship anywhere. It's as if Shooter Supply would give you a 4-year-old cover fire. Get the biggest number of bucks from the smallest Derringer to the longest Barrett. Maximum price, shortest time. What a great deal. Shooters-range.com. Shooters-range.com. That's shooters-range.com. Check with Larry.
Wars come and go, but my soldiers stay eternal.
Now you can listen to Hot News Talk Radio anywhere, streaming live at Noogaradio.com. That's Noogaradio.com. News Talk 1240.
Tom, again? What's going on with you?
I know. I'm sorry. It's my dog.
What do you mean?
Well, with the kids in school, me and my wife working, Baxter's become destructive. He's a little depressed. I'm walking and playing with him in the mornings, but it's just not working.
You know what I do? I take him to the Inner Wolf Keeper. It's boarding and grooming, but also doggy daycare. Dogs get to play together all day. It has large play yards, a swimming pool, play area indoors. You can even use your smartphone to peek in on them, like a webcam. Check out wolfkeeper.com.
Hi, I'm Sabrina with Sabrina Realty Associates. Now is a great time to sell your home. In our area, inventory is at an all-time low, which translates into higher sales prices. Call us today at 423-499-7780 to set up a free consultation and discuss our unique and aggressive marketing programs. We will provide you with a free market analysis to determine the right value of your home. Call us today at 423-499-7780 or visit our website at sabrinarealty.com.
Cash, cash, cash. cash, and more cash. Rick Davis has the cash when you sell gold, silver, diamonds, rings, and jewelry. Sell Rick your precious metals today and lock in your price. Hey, Rick Davis will trade your cash for shiny, brilliant, and heavy gold. Gold cheaper now by $100 an ounce. Join the Rick Davis Silver Bonanza too. Prices so low, the Lone Ranger is bound to gallop in, Kimosabe. Hey, silver, away! The markets are changing, so buy now. Cash, 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 and more cash for your silver and gold, gold, gold. Rick Davis, 5301 Brainerd Road. That's 5301 Brainerd Road. Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. Oh, and cash, cash, cash. You know where it is. Hey, silver, away!
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Nooga Radio News, I'm Russell Stroud. A 17-year-old boy was on his way to school on his bicycle when he was hit while crossing a 5-lane highway. The driver said she couldn't see him until he was right in front of her, couldn't avoid hitting him. She braked and swerved, but it was too late. His twisted body was found in the middle lane. Police took him to the hospital, but it was too late. He died. 2 young children found unconscious at the bottom of a swimming pool in Bradley County. Police say they wandered away from their home and fell inside, where they almost drowned. They were airlifted to the hospital, where they're now recovering. The youngest has said words, while the oldest is moving. This is a good sign. No charges are being pressed. The Hamilton County Commission, just like the City Council, is now considering regulation on short-term rentals. They're wanting to add teeth to state regulations, which are already in existence. This would affect users of Airbnb. You, too, can make a child's dream come true. Just go to the Chick-fil-A, pick out a tag on the Christmas tree, buy some presents, and make a child's dream come true. If it's going on in the Tennessee Valley, it's going on Nooga Radio News.
Warming up out there.
Okay, we better get
lots
ready.
of sunshine. Still hazy, high soaring into the upper 70s. Tonight, lows 40 to 43. Friday, very warm and dry again. Highs upper 70s. More clouds tomorrow night. A few early morning showers Saturday. Then pretty much colder for the weekend. Check out Rock City's Enchanted Garden of Light, where holiday joy and wonder await. Start at the heart through our historic roundhouse gates and create your own holiday adventure. For tickets, see rockcity.com. And I'm 1412 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Moore.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio. I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it in the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. New Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Welcome back to the Art Beat of Chattanooga, where art lives. That can be for me, and sometimes David Tulis, one of our other hosts, and I banter back and forth about what art is. Here on the Art Beat of Chattanooga, if you're a dancer, a musician, a tattoo artist, a sculptor, if you make really cool paper mache things and sell them at a market, improv, comedy, comedians, please, more comedians. Anything that we do here as far as art falls under the category of what I want to do on this show, which is share all of it with Chattanooga and beyond to continue expressing how amazing Chattanooga people are, how amazing this city is, and why come to Chattanooga, because you're going to get an amazing experience of beauty and culture. So, Steve, could you reintroduce? We're on AM Hot News Talk Radio, 1240 AM, and talking with Steve. Could you give your first and last name to everybody and tell them just a little bit about yourself?
Hello, my name is Stephen Jenkins. I'm a UTC student, communication major, 1 semester left.
Yay!
Yay.
So you've towed the hard road.
Yes.
Yeah, made it happen. So 1 more semester, and so what month is that? It's in like May?
I have no, it's in December. So
oh, you're real close.
I'm really close. Really close.
Wow. Yeah, cool. That's amazing. So what will your degree be when you're done?
I'll have a bachelor's in communications.
Okay. So all you ladies out there, this guy knows how to communicate.
Okay.
That's
terrible journalist, though. But I mean, I try.
Don't say you're terrible. You manifest your reality.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Right.
you have to be amazing, you know.
spectacular. I'm a phenomenal writer.
That's right. That's right. Plenty of people will try and ourselves especially, will try to lower our worth. And yet, I understand it too, Steve, because I go to art shows or museums and I come away, with kind of head bowed down, like, why do I even try? They're so amazing. So.
But that's why you go there, so you can hopefully lift yourself up as well.
Yeah, right. And to honor and this is another part I shared, and it's a part of writing and journalism as well. If you produce it and it just sits there, no one else interacts with it. It's not the complete cycle that we creative people need.
I can't actually create a piece of art without signing out who it's going to go to. It's really goofy. My buddy Chappie, I had my 21 phase where I was 21 years old and I'd play video games and drink beer, and I was really into line art and shapes. So I had a protractor and stencils and also just different rulers, and I just make all these crazy designs. And then I wrote out his name on the thing, and I was able to finish it. But if I don't write it out or don't have anybody intended to give it to, I cannot finish a piece of work ever, ever.
Interesting. So you're very motivated by connecting directly to another soul.
Yeah.
Boy, that would be interesting. I finished a lot of stuff that's just done for I don't even know what reason.
They're all halfway hanging on my wall at the house.
Maybe they are done.
Maybe they are.
Have you had the experience? So I didn't even know
it's
that.
a bunch of blank paper. We'll just go and say there's a lot of space.
Okay. Well, I didn't even know you were a creative artist type. So maybe sometime you can share some of your work.
Be happy to.
And see what you've got going on there, because that's wonderful. So you're very creative. You write, you draw, paint.
Charcoal. It takes a lot of skill to use watercolors and also acrylic-based paint as well as oil, so I haven't really got into that. Just when I have free time. Been trying to get my roommates to, I haven't quite presented it to them just yet, but have an art night where we just kind of get around and play around. I don't know.
Throw some paint. Some paint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you have a space to throw paint, just do it. Children are amazing. When I work with children on some of the volunteer aspects here in Chattanooga, they amaze me every time because they're so free. They can make, an abstract piece with just letting the paint work on its own, and it's beautiful. So it's amazing how when you just let it happen too. One of my children, one of my girls, is branching into art. She just did this is something if anybody wants to help your children learn, you just have them take a piece of a master's work and duplicate it as well as they can. It's a great assignment, and she's been doing that and sending me all the images via email, so I'm pretty proud of you, Jenna.
I had a class I went to Big Ridge Elementary School, and I had an art class where they did the same thing. We got to try to recreate Starry Night. I think a lot of places probably recreate Starry Night, but so it's still one of my favorite pieces, though. Not that I've done. Mine's thrown away in the trash somewhere, but it is my favorite, probably artist is Van Gogh, for sure.
Ditto. I absolutely adore Van Gogh, and I'm putting out the energy that his show will come very, very near Chattanooga very soon. It was in Chicago this summer, and I couldn't go because of, obligations here. But, I'm hoping that we can get Van Gogh and his show, well, not him himself, but the show here in Chattanooga soon.
Van Gogh, Chattanooga. Van Gogh to Chattanooga.
Yeah, the Hunter Museum is specifically American art. So if we can find a way to connect him to American artists, we can get him over here. So there's your first assignment as a journalist from me.
I'll look into it.
So you've studied all of this, and your next step is ahead of you. And you're working on this project, and you want to know a little bit more about VRP to Chattanooga. Is there anything we haven't covered that you feel would be helpful for your pursuit?
Well, you covered with Lizzie a little bit, I think, or one of your other guests about the tourism in Chattanooga, and I don't know what that brings. I guess mentioned different places. Talk about that.
Well, all the different, the Friday gallery hops that have the first Friday gallery hops that happen.
I guess what I was really meaning is there's another unique aspect of this station is that there's not a lot of people out there that don't live downtown that know more about art. So it's a really good thing that you guys have this station because you can talk to people like my age or even older people. I didn't say that right. And can kind of give them a direction to where they could find some local art. And that's what I was mentioning.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. On the North Shore alone, you've got multiple galleries right there in town. And I used to have a show on River Avenue right there at the base of the Walnut Street Bridge, but my friend passed away just a few weeks ago, and we were in business together there, and that place is no longer in existence with her. So kind of at the moment, my work is kind of hanging back, figuring out the next step. And then kind of brings me naturally to the next step that we discussed during the break. And you've also recently lost someone very close to you. So would you like to speak to that at all?
I did write a poem. I had a really great man as a manager, a leader. He was not a boss. He did not tell people what to do. He gave them direction as a team leader. A gentleman named Jimmy Janot, store manager, passed away, and made the place something not to fear. I can't tell you how many times my older store manager, I'd have people say, "I'm scared to come into work because the store manager. I don't want to be here," and then they'd walk out and either not return or come back the next day and struggle through it. But this manager did something more than that. Kind of brought us all together as a community. A lot of people at our store, sometimes their friendships outside of the out of Walmart aren't very strong. So they try to strengthen their ties at work. I guess I'll read my poem.
So Steve Jenkins has written a poem for a manager, a team leader that he values greatly, and it's encouraging to me because I'm a team leader and I'm a new team leader of a brand new team, and I'm going to take this energy directly for you and him to admire and plan to be that same kind of leader.
Well, that's the thing that I would like to do is I was hoping to have him as a mentor, and he's taken away now, but I definitely plan to use his teachings, and every time I go into work, I don't think very sadly of Jimmy because I don't want to. I like to think of like, hey, today's my work ethic. I want you to see it, whether he's up above or wherever, or even just his spirit and knowing in my mind that my best was good enough for him. And in a lot of managers, your best isn't good enough. And I pride myself on my work ethic, and that's where this comes along.
Okay.
A man's work ethic is only as strong as the leader that shows him the way. It doesn't take a smile or a happy gesture to make someone's day. It only takes a small acknowledgement, one fragment of time to give, to ensure that there is hope in the work that you did. A true man knows how to move a boulder. It takes teamwork to accomplish the task. A leader, not a boss, shows instruction and guidance and knows both the carrot and the lash. Motivation is key when you have a building ablaze. When you see someone put so much effort into restoration, you can't help but be a part of their new creation. A place you don't fear to come to the next day, for you know it is a true home when you can gaze on a field of friends and a team to raise up the dream that your friend has gave.
I love it. That's beautiful. And in his honor, it says a lot about the workplace because so many are suffering in their workplace these days. So really thankful you had that experience. So, and that's a form of art, exactly like you had a feeling, you turned it into a poem to express that feeling to another soul and to have them feel it with you. So that's the whole journey of sharing, and that's the whole thing about the Artbeat of Chattanooga. And I think also what connects this show to this station, we may not all have the exact same belief system. As a matter of fact, it's varied quite a bit. We have a real mixture of actual faith practices here in this station. But what we have is the commonality of loving, moving forward, helping each other, and being a family here at Hot News Talk Radio together. And reaching out into the community in service and love and truth. as well.
I'm extremely excited. Lately, I've been digging more into, say, David's Nooganomics. You should definitely check it out, people. Nooganomics.com. And the things that you guys have done for some of the community is pretty impressive. You normally don't see conservatives talking out of about the African American community, but David took a stand, not about race, but about justice and the corruption, and he definitely did an extremely beautiful job in the way that he covered the unjust arrest of Melvin.
I'm pretty sure that he was directly the reason that Melvin did not end up being charged and going through a really bad time. And, that's a very similar thing with David and Sab reach out into the community, and also with the whole, now why is it going out of my mind? I got so involved in that thought. There's the whole thing with, David also with the fluoride in the water. That was David. Yes. He brought that about through his reporting. And as a journalist, it's not writing, but interacting with the community the way David does. Here's a video. This is happening. I find a lot of joy when I do that too, for the station. I stumbled upon the whole meeting of the people who were trying to get it where the government can't force vaccines on their children, vaxxed. Yeah. And I was able to take this, radio station broadcast based and do a Facebook feed for them. And I think that's, what I see that you respect about this station, that they care. We care.
Well, they beat it into our minds in journalism and media that we are supposed to be the watchdogs of the government, or just the watchdogs in general. And more I've been watching and reading the news, especially now that I know the inner workings of it, taking classes, I know that a lot of places aren't quite doing that. They've got their own agenda. And I'm okay with it if your agenda is to be the watchdog, but if your agenda is left field and trying to play people's minds, which is very easy, then you're not doing your civic duty.
Your moral duty as well,
Which is actually more important, because you have to live with yourself. I'm talking to a lot of different people.
If you think about it, the morality of art in society, beyond the children portion of it, but, the whole society entering into the major tattoos that everyone has on their body, and the whole dissidence that created between the generations, even though tattoos had been done on servicemen so many years ago. But there's this whole new awareness of tattoos, and it's now an art form. It's a form of physical beauty, and to some, it's ugly, and shouldn't be done, or even against the Bible to some people. Yeah. So, to be the watchdog. I mean, in a sense, that's how I feel about this show. Not in a negative way, but in a let's talk about how wonderful it all is, and also to keep on it with. We have to remember that our children absolutely need art, not just on a computer. They need to be able to create with their hands and different materials for their brain to develop creativity and ability to be intelligent, functioning adults. So it's actually integral into it. And that's, I guess, the real promise for me is let's not lose this. Everything we do in art reflects society. Society reflects art. It's a cycle, and it's a part of the education and intellectual process.
I agree.
So, well, I'm excited to see what you're going to write in the future here and where you're going to go, the direction. And honestly, I hope a lot of the students at UTC who have art-related things that I can work with will contact me. You can just email the radio station, or you can contact us on our website, Hot News Talk Radio. You can go on our Facebook, Hot News Talk Radio, and send a message. I'll get that. We can talk about potentially talking about what you do or your cause here on the radio. I'm especially looking for nonprofit ways art reaches into the community and how we're using that, but all is valid. So, we've got exciting things going on in Chattanooga, the Visiting Artists Program, where we're going to have businesses who sponsored a hostel and a studio for artists to come and visit for a full month, and then they have an art show at the end of it to encourage Chattanooga growth in the arts.
Chattanooga Residents of Art.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. It's through the Swine Gallery. And
I read about that as well. Did a little research, and that's really cool how they bring in artists from abroad and they give them a shelter. Well, not a shelter. They give them a place to live for a month with a local artist here. So they both get to grow, and then they give them a studio and then a lecture in there again. It's really cool.
And a show. Yeah. So I wasn't able to bring what was his name? That was their first artist, and he came on the show. And it wasn't Stephen. He was from out of town. Ryder was his name, and I was working the night he had his show, and I was very sad I couldn't attend. But wasn't it Ryder? Adam Kirby is one of the people who's involved with it. Ryder was the first artist who visited and came here for the visiting artist program. Something I wanted to follow up on and couldn't, but he did come on the show, and that sort of thing's going on all over Chattanooga. And there's so much going on in Chattanooga, you can't even keep track of it all. That's the truth.
Townsend Atelier, is that something as well?
Townsend Atelier is a wonderful school of art. It's located in the Arts building, but they're two separate things. And they offer a menage of different classes, painting, drawing, sculpting, life drawing, just amazing things. They also sell high-quality art supplies. And Stan and Peggy Townsend run the Townsend Atelier. It's a very impactful, high-end as far as quality teachers place.
What age limit?
I believe I've only seen adults.
Okay.
I think but I don't know. There may be children's classes. I did have Stan on the show, and we didn't talk about too many children's classes, but I imagine that they have them because they're very active with their classes. So we also talked about the other week we had the Mountain Arts Community Center, Barb Storm, who they also are teaching art and music and dance and instrument lessons up on Signal Mountain. So, and there's just schools and things going on all over Chattanooga to help the children with the arts. The thing is, I don't want to see it be taken out of the schools, and to encourage you parents to feed into their desire to draw or paint. And you don't have to provide expensive things. Just make the avenue there and support, because once your child hits about 10 years old, you're going to stop seeing them, mommy, look at this, hang it on the fridge. There's something that happens, and they shut off that creative part out of fear. So helping them get through that, you can actually give your child more learning in the future if they can continue creating. So
I like that.
Other than that, we've just got a few seconds left, and Steve, I'm really glad you contacted me and that you have, an interest in the station and the show and how this all interacts together. It just works, I kind of chuckle that they brought a kind of a gypsy artist person in, but
we'll look into it.
Yeah, we'll keep discussing this and figuring this out, but we're a family, and like families, we just we love each other for our differences, and that's how it works here at the Heartbeat of Chattanooga and Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. So thank you so much, Steve. It's been a really great show. Glad to have you with us today, and we'll keep track of your writing in the future here. Thanks for sharing your poem. Everyone have a great evening, and we'll see you again next week. Share this with your friends, and please contact me and come on the show and talk about what you have going on in the arts. Thank you so much.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds. We'll give you Chattanooga and the world.